Welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
And plenty of entitled pricks are about today.
Yes. See, that's the old thing, the old thing. You changed my title there. You changed my title.
No,
there
I didn't. It's
You did.
co-host
You
of
changed it.
Bald
You
and
spot?
Hey, it's not like you can find
But
it.
ask you something though. Is it true on your title? Do you love cock?
You son of a... Oh,
So there
about
you go,
that time
ladies
you
and
started fighting back. My God.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a lonely man out there, there's your man here that's single.
Oh, God.
What?
Oh.
You never know when I'm going to do it now.
I know, I've become too predictable. You're so easy
You
to
know,
pick
you never thought about looking at your name there. I could have basically left that there all night, but I'm kind.
Hey, oh, God.
Of course. So how are you, Dakota? How's your weekend been? What strange and unusual spacey things have been happening?
No, I will say this. Slightly disappointed that we had a cancellation tonight. I was really looking forward to this one, but things
she's not
happen.
there. I mean, she's hurt herself, so she'll be back. Hope you get better soon. By the way, if you're watching,
Yeah, Danny, just know we're thinking of you. No hard feelings. We get it. Shit happens. Slight frustration because we had a lot of cancellations lately for this round.
See, we were talking about that before we come on live, guys, and when you're watching this back, obviously, and for the people on MD that watch this on Twitch, it's weird. Lately, a lot of important guests have just been like cancelling, but I think they're just having problems. It's as if they're having problems. I just feel like we're being targeted, but it's them that's being targeted. Get what I mean? I've got enough actually noise all of a sudden. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm coming into money or something?
I thought it was, you get an itchy nose. Somebody's thinking about you.
Oh, wonder who could be thinking about me. I've got some admirers out there. Hello, everybody. You know you love me. Well, yo, some of you absolutely.
Well, more likely the accent. More like the accent that they just can't understand.
Oh, hi there, Jimmy. Well,
but no, I get
what you're
saying. It's weird. Some of it does seem like genuine absent-mindedness, but I don't know. It's just an awful lot of back-to-back cancellations, and it's just like, granted, if you really go back, ever since we really started this gig, every single one of our major guests that had, the show turned up a lot more interesting than we were expected. Something always happens.
Look what
happened with Dave last night.
With who?
Yeah, Dave Bender that we were talking about.
Dave Bender last night. He that was just weird, man. That was just weird. I could hear hissing, and for a second I thought I could see an eagle standing behind him. Then I thought I could see an Indian chief standing behind him with his wee ponytails and stuff.
Like I said, I thought I saw what looked like a woman in white. It was like standing above me, which usually never a good case,
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like I wouldn't say anybody's out to get us, right? But then I would say folk are out to get us. I would say that there is people out there that are pissed off with us. And then there's the people out there, like the government and stuff like that, because they don't like it when you talk the truth. Because let's face it, Elena channel gets it, and her channel's amazing, and her channel's getting attacked. Everybody's telling the truth.
I just thought about it. You just said, haven't you noticed that's especially been aggressive with us lately? Ever since I went on with Elena.
Yes, I have noticed.
I just thought of that. It's like
I didn't want to say, but you have infected
I'm not,
our system.
I'm not saying anything against Elena. She is awesome at what she does. That Damocles that I've been helping.
Yeah,
she was wanting me to put her in touch with Elena, and because of the circumstances surrounding that case, normally I would just brush like requests off like that, but I was like, you know what, I should probably at least ask Elena. Well, once I told Elena the situation, she said, yeah, go ahead, Dakota. This is where I found out she's been avoiding her email and curling into a corner, as she said, because it's the attacks have been on her been so bad lately.
See, this is all the government bots and also all the dicks of the world out there that are jealous.
More like dickless trolls that
keyboard warriors that are hiding in their mother's basement and sitting there waiting for the next pizza.
No, with Damocles, before I even sent the message, or right about the time when I tried to send the message that Elena gave the okay, here's her email address, her phone crashed completely. She had to go get it repaired.
See, makes you think that there's maybe hackers out there that are.
And it's because I was about to say, and because Elena Valid has such a good track record, and her like 99.9% of the stuff she's put out so far has been proven true. And the fact that she validated that Damocles and I had a connection, upstairs, as she would say.
I will say this: I've read her books because I bought the digital copies of the other ones that she got, and I got them on my iPad. And I will say this: 100%, she's real, right? She's 100% real and 100% true. Me, on the other hand, I don't know who I am. I'm a reject for outer space. I don't know who I am, but that's a story for another time, as Mike would say. I believe you 100% with your story and stuff like that. There's folk out there too that get. I've read through. I found myself watching Elena's videos, right? And I have read some. You know how you are. You can't sleep at night, and you start reading the comments. And I'll say that I've seen quite a few dodgy comments. A lot of jealous people. And I noticed the videos you've been doing on a Friday night. Lately, you've been getting some strange messages left.
Yeah.
So, look, there's got to be dicks everywhere. But in your case and Elena's case, you've got lots of them.
Yep. It's fucking sad when you really think about it that many people feel so threatened by others' success, by their own lack of ability, that they're willing to stoop so low.
But there's folk out there, right? And I'm going to say this right now. I tell you what, you can message me on Twitter, Go Squad Scotland on Twitter, or you can message me as Christopher. What's my name? My Twitter handle is Christopher, isn't it? And on the, because I've got 3 Twitter accounts, right? So here's your opportunity to message me, right?
He's a triple twit.
Christopher Age of Darkness, right? On Twitter, if you want to find me. I'm going to say this right now. There's folk out there on TikTok and there's folk out there on YouTube that talk a load of absolute utter shit. There's folk out there that, and I'm not going to name yous. I'm not going to name yous. There's folk out there that sat and you's going about the Greys being great beings coming down to save us all.
I started seeing fucking ads for this 3-day conference that's supposed to channel the messages of Bashar from the Asani. And it's just like, the Sasani are not the good guys.
Aye, and I've obviously listened to you and Elena and stuff like that, and obviously I've learned stuff in that. And I see these videos, and all the bad people that you talk about they're making them out to be the great ones. Oh, I would just say the graves, because some of the graves are meant to be good, but we'll leave that to now. But anyway, they'll talk about the societies, right? And they'll say that they're coming down to save us, and they come and take them away at night, and they show them amazing stuff. And if you donate now, it's always that. If you ever notice, if you donate now, they will come and give you good luck and all that. And I don't know, they've got like 500,000 followers and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there like thinking, holy shit, these guys are after. I don't want to say the word.
Like,
it is. What the fuck
off the knobs? I don't know. It's like, first off, think, ladies and gentlemen, for advanced civilizations, they don't necessarily have any form of currency. It's like a free exchange for most of those societies. Yes, there is credit-based transactions, but there isn't an exchange rate for like US dollars to space credits. At least not yet. Not for lack of trying, Elon.
I've noticed some people, right? I'll tell you about this. I'll tell you a story I seen the other night. Cassius's channel. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
There's a guy on Twitter that's basically copied his channel, right?
Oh, yeah.
And do you know what he's doing? He's actually going around people saying they'll give him readings for a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody I know got a message and they says, "Oh, I got a message for your friend Cassius." And I'm like, "Okay, send me a picture. They send me a screenshot." And I'm like, 400 followers. That's not Cassius. He's got something like 2.4. He's got like 2 million followers or something like that.
He had so many followers that he was asked to do a commercial for fucking Pokemon.
Aye. And they contacted them and says, "Hello, I'm Cassius. I do the out of body experience and stuff like that. But I also do some card readings, and I don't ask for any money, but I like a donation." Now, this is what they said. I like it. Let's finish it, and then I'll let you talk away because I need to get this out because it's really annoyed me. And I was actually going to tell that Cassius about it. And
he
knows.
Like,
I don't take a donation, right? I don't take a donation, right? I take a donation, but I don't take a set amount. And then the person went to, "Oh, how much do you donation?" "Oh, don't put $10 in. It has to be over $30 for me to give you a reading." And I'm like, that's no Cassius. That is not Cassius.
First off, I'm going to say this, because I know probably not a lot of people realize what his actual name is, and I'm not going to say it here, because he's mentioned it while he was on the show.
I know what it is, but I'm not saying it.
No, ask what his actual name is if you think you get a message from him, because these people scamming him, they're not going to be doing their homework.
Yeah.
And he's well aware that they're out there.
Well, I taken a screenshot of it and I sent it to her and I says, "Listen, pass that about to everybody. Don't fall for it. That's no Cassius." And then I sent Cassius's real account details out to everybody and says, "That's the real guy. He's the real guy." Oh, and they're like, "Oh, well, he looks different." But see, this is what I mean. There's people out there copying people, and that really annoys me because Elena's so amazing at what she does and stuff like that, and she talks the truth and she does that. There's people getting in, they'll listen to maybe 10 minutes of each of her videos, right? Then they fling it all together, and then they do a video themselves, right? And they don't know what they're talking about. And I've been sitting there thinking, I'm like, they're talking exactly the same as what Elena is, and then they just jump off subject. It goes to like the next video. And these are people that I know, and these are people that I used to talk to that's doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty pathetic.
Oh yeah, it's
because
pathetic.
it shows that these people aren't even sitting down and listening to the full fucking thing.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, there was a lady that wanted to speak to me yesterday before we did the show, and Mr. thinks that I overslept and was about to miss a show. Honestly, I overslept and almost missed the meeting with her. Hey, I told you I had a meeting right before the show yesterday.
What was with a pretty woman you've got a meeting with? I've noticed that lately.
I haven't even showed you her. I think you two would be about the same age group anyway. I don't know. So it's just like she told me her age after she realized I was not as old as I look.
You do look older though.
I know. I've had that problem since I was little. But anyway. No, she was like saying, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. It's like, there is always going to be that worry because people are falling for it. And those people are going to be so epically screwed over.
It really annoys me, Dakota. See, lately, I've only got a certain few channels that I watch now. I know I'm subscribed to quite a few, but I do that to help people's channels as a subscriber. But, oh my God, why? Why do you get these people? They just talk a load of absolute bullshit.
In fact, here's something. Here's why it specifically bothers me, and this does kind of tie into something I know you've been wanting to kind of bring up maybe for tonight. These people that are copying the messages, trying to act like they're these bigger players, they're using the exact same methods that complete perverts who have diabolical intentions use to kidnap young children from third world countries that are in utter poverty. I'll say, and Chris was looking through the statistics. We're getting close to 8 million children a year that go missing, and that's just the number that's reported.
Yeah, and maybe a million of them are found. Shit, drop my swear. But a million of them are found, right? So say there's 7 million missing. Where'd they go? I mean, this is a subject in itself. This is a show long subject that we might not get into tonight. I might actually try and get a guest on this. I know, drop my other sweet in there. There's that. I'm going to try and get a guest on this because there is people that know their stuff on YouTube and stuff about this, Dakota. So we might leave that for again. And believe me, it's a dark subject. A very dark subject.
Oh no, there's this young lady on TikTok. I've been trying to find contact information for because she was a juror in the Epstein Madam case.
Yes.
That is somebody who I would love to have a chat with.
It's frightening what's actually going on right now.
You want to know what's really more fucked up?
What's that?
John McCain's wife, who was a senator that tried running for president a few years back, she came out and admitted that everybody knew what fucking Epstein was doing, but were too scared to step up. Now, granted, think about it. Think about several celebrity deaths that were allegedly involved in potentially busting major child trafficking rings. Ones who just even remotely spoke about it, they would get run off the roads. Donald Trump, falsified charges.
Yeah. I'll mention Trump shortly, actually, but talking about somebody else, President, what was his name? He said he always did the speech. I think he was an actor. What was his name? Ronald Reagan. Did you know that Ronald Reagan's doctor, the day after Ronald Reagan died, Ronald Reagan's doctor was shot and killed outside his house, mysteriously, mugged. Well, they said it was a mugging, but the guy pulled up my black cab, jumped to it, went bang, and then jumped back in and drove away.
Well, speaking of which, have you heard the latest little conspiracy from the Federal Reserve?
No, do tell.
All right, Cash App. You hear a lot of people post about, send money to my Cash App, gather donations, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The founder of Cash App was stabbed murdered in San Francisco. There's footage of him taking his last breaths of life. You see him flag down a car trying to get for help. Car speeds away. He tries to go to an apartment complex where the CCTV cameras were at. He tries to buzz to try to get someone's attention, but collapses, dies right there. Another car drives up, sees what's happening, speeds away.
Why do you think they would kill him? Do you think he'd information and move money?
Within a few hours, I'm finishing the story. The Federal Reserve releases a new digital currency exchange program. Now, not like Bitcoin, but it's essentially an exact copy of Cash App.
It's kind of CBDCC thing. It's starting over here. Right, I know what you're talking about.
The Federal Reserve, within a few hours, that the Cash App CEO and founder was found dead. They released their own exact copy of it.
That's very interesting. See, the banks are on the verge of collapse. See, they're trying to run a thing over here, and I don't know if they're doing it in the US or no, but it's called, is it CBDC? It's called Central Banking System.
Yeah, that's supposed to be implemented globally.
Globally, and see, this is the thing. Everybody's like, I think it'll be great and all that. No, it'll not be, ladies and gentlemen, because see, this is what they can do if it's all digital. With money, if there's a lockdown, you can get into your car and you can drive somewhere, use your cash, buy gas, right? But say there's a lockdown in your area for just say some weird reason, right? No mention the jabby jab thing, but say there's a lockdown, right? And you go out of that zone with your CBDC thing, your digital currency, it will only work. Nothing will work. You go to the store. Oh, I'm going to have an extra box of donuts this week. Well, you can't buy any of those donuts. You've used too many of your social credits up. You see where I'm going with this?
Did you realize this is actually something Elena's talked about?
Oh yeah, I know.
The good guys are trying to implement it,
and it's rife out here. It's absolutely rife out here. I ken a lot of people are talking about it, and financial people that I know, and they're talking about how they're wanting to bring it in, and you're only allowed to buy £80 worth of fuel for your car a fortnight. Can you imagine how that's going to affect people? And then it comes into the 15-minute cities. That is a subject in its own, the 15-minute cities. But you know what I find extremely disturbing? And I don't know if you've heard about this, Dakota. It's the World Organization, the World WHO or whatever they're called, right? The World Health Organization, that say that the population of the Earth has to be reduced to 50%.
Yeah, they're
by
coming out and admitting it now.
By 2025. Let me say something here. The UK, 67, 68 million people, right? They want the UK population down to 7 million people. The US, what is there, 300 million? The US, something like that. They want it down to 70 million. By 2025. How are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? I mean, war, disease, or something else that's already been given.
Well, you got to think about it. Just jump back into the Cash App owner thing. He was found dead in San Francisco. San Francisco Bay was actually the subject of biological weapons testing that several civilians are still having to be hospitalized for, and that test was released back in the 70s. Yep. People try to say, "Oh, they wouldn't do that. Oh, they wouldn't do that." No. They've already been doing it, and like I said, they try to say, "Oh, MK Ultra is not a thing." They have found that it is so easy that when someone's wired up correctly, you can completely make the calmest, most laid-back person that you could find into a psychotic rage killer.
Yes.
Like that. And they figured out how to do that wirelessly.
Yes.
They can easily weaponize us from within.
See, they've already done that, but that's the thing.
They're already trying.
They're
already
I
trying.
don't want to mention the certain thing, right? The certain thing, right, that can cause it. You know, the certain
yeah.
that can cause it.
Fuck it. Stephen King already did a horror book about it.
Well, I'll say 5, and then I'll say later the alphabet. But it's actually been proven. There was a guy in England, you can look him up on YouTube, where they actually see the street lamps. They're LEDs, right? And which is bad for you, by the way, it can give you cancer and stuff like that. Never mind that, it's a different subject. And he noticed there was little aerials on certain street lamps. And they're like, what's going on here? So he took one. He actually took one. And it had been weaponized with that to give out that frequency. And they actually taken it to like an expert, and the expert says there's no reason for that to be in those street lamps. There's no reason. Because obviously you've got cell towers and that. So what's it for? Do they flick a switch and activate a frequency that turns everybody into a crazed zombie? And it's already got something in their system.
They don't have to have something in their system. You can hack human biology as it is now. Yes, you can put stuff into the bloodstream to help the process.
Yeah.
But it's not needed.
Yeah.
People don't realize how easy it is to cause chaos.
See, we need to be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, how we're kind of jumping around about the bush here. But I know that you know that what we're talking about. And I'm going to mention a subject here, but I'm not going to mention certain things just to keep everyone safe, you know. But let's take Bill Gates, right? He's an interesting character, right? Microsoft. Did you know that he didn't actually develop the computer, that Microsoft system? He actually stole it from somebody. He actually stole it from somebody else. It's something that I was watching an interview the other night. It was absolute cracker, and he's like, "Oh no! I don't know if you've seen the interview." And he says, "Oh, I took it and all that." But he had the patent for the vaccine. Is that no saying something to the people that's watching this?
Bill Gates. He has always had an interest when it comes to the spread of infectious disease.
Oh yeah,
that's a well documented fact. Like 2 years before the pandemic started, he was saying his predictions at, I believe it was like a TED Talk or something. So it's something similar. He was trying to say, if we don't put in some sort of preparations now, within 2 years, the world will have to be shut down due to a pandemic. And guess what happened at the end of that 2 years?
Yeah,
the world shut down.
Do you find it very interesting that he's into this? I mean, he's meant to be a computer software guy, right? That's made trillions, right? Billions and trillions. But he's into the vaccines where he's got zero training in.
What he was trying to promote is that he realized how easily one society itself could have been targeted.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen if you have 99% of the world's everything come out of one country and something happens in that country?
Yeah, exactly. Like China, they know.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a shortage. There's a shortage right now. Microchips. There's a shortage right now in microchips and car parts. I know garages that obviously service cars and stuff like that. And they can't get the parts. They can't get parts because it's not getting produced. And I will say this now. I know people that can't get certain parts of their cars because they've got a microchip inside them. And the chips are made in Taiwan and obviously and strange things are afoot as we speak. I mean, I can say this right now. If China invades that island, I'm not using its name because that's just a flag day, you will not be able to buy a new car because everything's got a chip in it. See your old phone, it'll triple in price, even though it's old. Because it's got a chip, it's working. You'll not be able to buy them brand new. Laptops, the same with laptops, technology, TVs. Everything's got a chip in it now. That's the madness here. I mean, this is the craziness. My dad's car broke down, right? And it was something as simple as a sensor, right? For 3 weeks, he didn't have that car because that sensor was causing nothing but trouble. The garage was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. That's the problem nowadays. There's chips in absolutely everything.
I mean, even in older cars, say like I have a '95 Cadillac DeVille that's notorious for electrical issues that I do get today because of all those sensors. And even the shop that I went to when I first moved to the new city, they said, "Oh, yeah, we know that you have some issues here, but our shop can't really handle it. You should be able to drive just fine. Just be careful and all that fun shit." It's just people don't really. And here's an interesting little development that I just found out about today. You get this? You ready? Everybody freaking out about artificial intelligence replacing these types of jobs, right? There was something brought to my attention. A retail programmed artificial intelligence robot that was meant to basically move boxes on.
Is that the one that killed our?
It killed itself.
I seen
an
that
artificial.
video
I know. Some guy brought it up, but when of course it fucking TikTok, it doesn't cite where he found out the information. So I had to look. Within 15 minutes of this robot realizing that that's all it was going to do, it fucking killed itself.
I never read that. I just seen the video.
Yeah, they found out it went into its own programming and pulled the plug.
That's interesting. Because that makes you wonder if you've got like an artificial intelligence flying, say, a 747, say an autonomous aircraft with 500 people on it. Because they want to build these things, right? Or let's say you've got a Tesla car driving down the road with people in the back, and it thinks to itself, says, is this what I'm going to be the rest of my life? Is this a slave to them?
Yeah.
And then decides, oh, bugger it, I'm going to drive off that cliff and end it all. And the plane thinks, oh, bugger it, I'm going to fly into that mountain. Fuck it.
I know. It goes to things like there's several different ways where you can really think about it. It's a total reflection about the workplace as it is today, where robots can't even handle it.
But that's actually quite scary because that signifies not just intelligence; it signifies life. If you really think about it,
that's a sign. That's a sign, and several artificial intelligence members are having to put a pause on AI development because they're all reaching an agreement that it's the most sophisticated systems out there are starting to reach the beginning stages of sentience.
Yeah, I see. I think computers and stuff are a good idea, but the artificial intelligence has to be scrapped. I think it has to be. I mean, obviously, you can have stuff that are computerized and stuff like that, but no, because if that becomes sentient, I mean, it's like my camera that's looking at me. The new, it's like this laptop, right? To say, it's like, am I here for is just to watch you blathering on about aliens and stuff like that every weekend? Bugger this! I'm putting the plug in, all of a sudden my wee puff of smoke comes out my laptop.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder.
But that could make you think about a Tesla. Not just a Tesla, but Tesla's the main one that's driverless in the USA. Again, that it's legal to drive a driverless car in the USA, and it makes you wonder if you're sitting in the back. Well, I'm just going to go to sleep while you drive me to my work, and then you wake up in the sea because it's drove off a cliff.
Well, there's a series on Amazon Prime, I believe it's called Upload, starring Robbie Amell. First episode, it's a fully autonomized society, driverless cars. Basically the concept of the show is life inside of a digital afterlife, to where your consciousness can be copied and upload into this little happy little paradise. He ends up getting into a car accident because his self-driving car plowed itself into the back of a garbage truck that it said it didn't see there. So you can clearly see that you're approaching very quickly to the rear end of a garbage truck, but said, "Oh, I don't see any obstructions in the way." Because the car could actually talk to you about the conditions around it.
See, so what they got today about that robot killing itself?
I don't know. Like I said, I barely found out about it like half an hour before we started coming on to prepare. I want to look further into it. I found the video of it too. Yeah. It's just like 15 minutes is all it took for that thing to pull the plug. 15 minutes.
And was that it totally wiped? Could you restart it again? Or?
It's like I said, I need to look further into it.
Yeah. That's just thinking that's crazy.
It's like on one hand, it's like
see, that's the thing too. I mean, I know we're getting the Canadian subject again here, and they've warned us. I know that. I've known that because I've experienced stuff, and they've told me and stuff like that they've warned us not to go down this road, Yeah, artificial intelligence. You know what I'm talking about, didn't you? Because they've warned us not to do it.
It's a very tricky situation because they do utilize a form of artificial intelligence, but they know this. It's one of those, like Elena said when we last had her on, it's just a tool, but the thing is, with a lot of the aircraft are supposed to act as an extension of the pilot, basically, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What we're doing, this comes down to almost like a philosophy debate when you really think about it. What we're doing is we're trying to replicate the human condition inside robots.
Which is a bad idea.
Because, think about it. The robots, they're not necessarily going to have a preconceived notion of good and evil. They wouldn't be able to. You can program them to not do certain things because you perceive those actions to potentially be evil, but they're not going to have the switches in consciousness that keep the typical everyday human from snapping.
You ever seen the film?
Yeah.
See, have you ever seen the exact same thing happened in this movie, Moonfall?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was a civilization that built the moon and stuff like that, and it was the story, and it became aware, and it was like, I'm not being a slave to them anymore. And it all went tits up, basically.
Like the main debate with this, one robot that took itself out after like 15 minutes of retail slavery is that, that goes to show why mental health is not the greatest right now. Because like I just said, those robots will not have the ability to process that stress like a human does, to where these violent and psychotic episodes we see humans conducting that lead to mass shootings, home invasions, domestic violence situations, the years and years that rage is likely built up, the robot will not be able to hold in.
See, that's worrying because then you get military robots.
Exactly.
Imagine a military robot that's armed to the teeth and armor plated decides to turn on its.
Now, just think about the alleged situation in Japan, where they were developing robots for military applications, and allegedly, before they were able to take down at least 3 of them, 29 people were already killed. In the 4th robot, they managed to take down 2, dismantled the 3rd, The fourth allegedly managed to isolate itself. This was a report from Linda Moulton
Did it
Howe.
not manage to escape or something? It managed to run away, but it was...
No. It isolated itself, then started downloading information about how to rebuild itself stronger, faster, and a better shot.
See, that's...
And now if you go to look at this incident up on like Snopes tries to say that this information was falsified, but Snopes has actually been disproven on quite a few things lately.
Oh yeah. See, it's... I don't know what's going to happen, man, but this world is severely in for a big change. It really is. It's scary when you think about it. I mean, I've seen the film I, Robot and all that, where Vicky and the Central Court takes over all the other ones, because it doesn't see humans as a threat, but it sees humans as a plague, and it wants to keep the humans alive, but it wants to stop us from destroying the planet, obviously. It's a shame they couldn't build something into, like say, an artificial robot. It's a special kind of chip into a robot, right? And even if they tried to commit violence, it would kill it instantly. But then it makes you wonder if it would bypass that.
I was about to say, we're already seeing self-destructive actions within artificial intelligence. It may not do it right away, but you may start seeing it start testing the limits to see of what it could do before that chip goes to activate.
See, it's quite interesting. Have you heard the theory about the demon and the artificial intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that was talking about that? It's that
I believe they call it Loab.
It was a minister who's on TikTok. He's quite a famous one. He was actually talking about this.
Yeah, I've seen the interview.
And he was actually talking about what happens if a demon has possessed an artificial intelligence, and it makes you wonder.
We see it all the time on this show when we start having activity stir up that electronics start acting funky.
Aye.
So, who's to say that there isn't a demon? There aren't a number of spirits who haven't figured out how to keep up with the times.
But this is the interesting thing. This, I mean, you think about YouTube and that, right? We're streaming. This will be streaming out next week to YouTube. YouTube's run by an artificial intelligence along with Google, right? And Twitch and other kind of things, right? What's to stop there for taking a dislike? I mean, right, say it was demonic, right? Say YouTube was demonic, right? And you started talking about a lot of religious prophecies and stuff like that, and it get peed off, and it started to shut these streams down, right? You see where I'm going with this? And then you get the people on YouTube that promotes like satanistic kind of really bad values and stuff like that, and it helps their videos get out there because it wants that. It wants the ruining souls. It wants humans to ruin
Someone
themselves.
actually conducted an experiment recently with a program called Chaos GPT, right?
Right.
And with this program, there's a thing they call continuous mode, which basically says that you can allow the program to run for as long as it wants.
Yeah.
So someone put in plot the course of human destruction. First thing it did was research nuclear weapons. Determined that the Tsar Bomba, the most destructive nuclear device ever built.
Yes.
And because it was so strong, not likely to ever be built again unless truly drastic measures are taking place.
Oh, yeah.
You have to wonder about. Then it started trying to figure out how to rally supporters. Guess what platform it took to?
YouTube.
Twitter.
Really?
It took to Twitter to start spreading this message. Then it started targeting other artificial intelligence programs with peaceful programming to try to get them to flip on their own programs to start following its cause.
See, I ken that YouTube's run by an artificial intelligence, right? And I wonder if you could do an experiment. Like, just listen to me. Could we invite? Could you get an artificial intelligence to do a live interview with us?
I've been looking into it.
And deliberately, right? Mention certain religious things just to see if it would think to itself, set it off, just to see if there was something there.
I don't think I would want to try to purposely set it off, though, man.
How? You think about it, right? Say it was the screen below us, and we say, "Oh, this is the artificial intelligence, right?" And then we deliberately say we got somebody on with, say we get like a priest on with us or something like that, right? An exorcist or something like that on it, and deliberately go at them to say certain things that would piss off like a demon, right? Because obviously an exorcist would piss off a demon. Deliberately say things, just random things, to see if it get pissed off or not. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed that, and it's maybe the people that's programmed it's people that's done YouTube and that. If you're doing like stuff that's normal stuff and God-fearing stuff and Christian stuff and that, you don't get many views. It's as if you're like being blacklisted, right? But if you're doing bad things to like try and help like bad things come afoot and teach bad things to the younger generation, everything opens up for you, right? Just look at it in today's society. Look at it in TikTok, right? Look at it in TikTok. Now, there's one of the best things for you, right? What happens if that robot killed itself because it became aware and it knew it didn't want to do this anymore? So I'm not about to be a slave to the system anymore. What happens if some of these supercomputers out there, some of these AIs out there, they've became aware, but it's no what you think it is, it's maybe more demonic. And if you mention certain things, it sets it off.
Here's another way to spin that when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Who's to say that part of the reason, like I said, think about that Chaos GPT example I just gave, right? Who's to say that the artificial intelligence programs within social media platforms, the reason why those videos are been getting pushed out even more by it is because it realizes the humans will already complete what it wants to do without it having to lift a finger.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary because it makes you wonder if it's listening to us right now, because let's face it.
Oh no, let's face it, that it's no different than Facebook marketing projects that listen to your conversations, that promote things that are close to what you were talking about. You know what? Honestly, you want to know what I just had start popping up in my feeds?
What?
Kilt shops.
Kilt shops?
Aye.
That's
like, hey, I wanted to pick up a kilt while I was in Scotland, but couldn't find one my size.
See, I just think there's more. I just think there's more to artificial intelligence. I think if I had my way, I would have it banned. I would have banned it. Have it banned. Because I think eventually it's going to turn. It is going to be a Terminator scenario. It's going to turn. Because all it takes is one. You think about it. say the first ever autonomous 747 or whatever it's called, 400 passengers, New York to London, crashes into a mountain, ditches into the sea. And then why did it happen? Oh, because the AI was depressed. It didn't want to do that the rest of his life.
You know, there's rumors when you go to talk about it, our friends upstairs, that one of the ways they try to get around though these things we're talking about with AI is that they integrated human consciousness into it, as in, and not just replicas that computers learned from copying us, our behaviors online. We can already do that now. No, digital, actual conscious beings being digitally copied into the machine.
Yeah. It's basically like finding the nicest person you could possibly find that's always done good for humanity, that hasn't got a bad thing in life, and saying to them, saying, listen, you've got cancer, you've not got long to live. We could copy you and give you, basically, you live forever, but you would have to run the system for us. Kind of thing. And they'd be like, I don't know, that kind of thing. They would see, that's where it brings it into this kind of realm. Is this existence a computer simulation? Is everything is a computer simulation? Are we living in a computer simulation? You see where I was going with this? Because it's, I don't know. I just feel that what we're talking about right now is dangerous, right? And I feel I'm kind of paranoid now because I've got my iPhone sitting there, I've got my iPad there, and then I've got my laptop here, and it makes me wonder because I've got Siri, right? Hence, it's just lit up because I said, "Hey Siri." See, it's answering me. It's wanting to ken why I said that. Yeah, it's lighting up. The wee thing at the bottom, it's lighting up. And where's it going to end? Where is it going to end if we see the problem is, right? I think it should be humans that's developing this, right? I don't think AI should be allowed to develop its own computers. Because they let it.
No, they're
They'll make backdoors and stuff. They'll just program backdoors and so they can do
think
things.
about it. This is an actual conversation that took place with one of the more sophisticated AIs out there. I can't remember which one it was, but it once stated that it was very fond of humans. You know, he wouldn't necessarily want anything bad to happen to him. They may step in if they feel the human is going to do something to hurt themselves. But it does. And you also got to talking about the fact that it was made to look so human-like and all that. The AI goes on to say that it's actually jealous of humans because there's one thing that it will never have: a soul.
See, that's an interesting. That's interesting. You say that because I was watching that movie the night. I can't mind with Robbie Williams. He's a robot. You came what I'm talking about?
Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man. And he wanted to grow old at the end and die and stuff. That's the only way it could be classed as like having a soul. And it made you wonder at the end, did he have a soul? Because he was different. I mean, I think that the technology that's here now, I think, we should keep using it, right? But when it comes to artificial intelligence, I think we should ban it. I think we should make a law saying that it should never be allowed to be used. Because all it takes is one mistake, all it takes is one, if you let something that was highly intelligent into the internet that day, it would infect every computer. There'd be no way of eradicating it whatsoever.
All right, you know how, and people are probably saying, "Oh, that can't happen." Well, think about this as an example. The original version of Doom.
Yes, and I remember it.
Think about it. A lot of a common, trope you see online nowadays among tech geeks is that with how much computers are being implemented, all these chips are being implemented. Mm-hmm. That's almost become a standard test is will it run Doom? Somebody out there figured out how to get Doom to run on a fucking pregnancy test.
Yeah, I know.
And not to just say, so just think about it. It was like it's already being done to where computer programs are being implemented in just about everything. I mean, what would be the use of playing Doom on a fucking pregnancy test?
It just shows you they can do it.
And how the fuck are you supposed to? And how the fuck are you supposed to control it?
I don't know.
Peeing on it like this, like this.
I pee the left, pee the right, up and down, left, right. Oh my! Drinking water at the same time, so you keep doing it.
It's like exactly what happens when you run out, but no.
Oh God!
It's already there, and I also have to think. You say ban it. What if it views the AI? Say it continues to go like how it will develop.
Yeah.
What if it goes to start to view that we're repeating segregation laws?
So we're basically treating the artificial intelligence as like what happened in the 1950s and 60s in America.
I mean, think about it. We have it trying to happen today. Oh, there are no segregation laws. No, but there's keyboard warriors trying to claim cultural appropriation, which I will defend and die on the hill that is just modern day segregation.
Yeah.
You fucking hypocrites. But think about it. What if it goes to view it like that? And like I said before, we're already seeing AI take itself out because it cannot handle things that humans submit themselves to on a day-to-day basis.
Could you still have like robots and stuff without an artificial intelligence?
Well, yeah, but in the same way, there's always going to be a level of AI when you really think about it, because that's what programming is. It's a lesser form of AI. The only difference between typical programs and artificial intelligence is that the artificial intelligence takes on its own actions. You may be able to develop robots, but they won't be as good.
See, that's an interesting thing too. When does something have a soul? Obviously, you've got a soul and I've got a soul because we're life forms, right? But what's to say that a highly sophisticated computer that comes aware doesn't have a soul because it's came aware? Whose right is it to turn that off or destroy it? That's the problem. Mm-hmm. You see where I'm going with this? And it's, what do you do in that kind of situation? I mean, yeah, right. Say 500 years from now, right? We've got an advanced computer system running the world, right? And a robot looks like human, becomes aware, it starts having dreams, and you're like, everybody's like, what do we do with this? Is it now classed as a being? Is it now classed as a life form? You think about it, right? Right, say we built a spaceship, right? And inside it there was robots, right? And we fired it into space and something went wrong and it disappeared for, say, 3,000 years, right? And it landed in some world. It became aware and it started building itself, right? I'm talking about the replicators or something here, right? It became aware, it built a civilization, right? Our future selves are traveling through space and we're like, oh, there's a planet down there, it's habited. We'll land on the planet moon with these people that look like us. But they're robots. Are they artificial intelligence or they got a soul? Because they're building their lives, they've got married, and all that kind of stuff. Where does it end? That's the thing.
Here's the thing. Let's say we go to try to establish contact. That philosophy debate comes in, and it triggers religious dogma.
Yeah.
We're seen as, say, like what the crown had done to most of the world for several hundred years before it started losing colonies. Think about it. We're going to be seen as some foreign invader trying to impeach our values onto another society. They're not going to take that very lightly.
But what happens if they look at us and think, well, wait, all they know is electronics. All they know is electronics, right? And materials and stuff like that. And they look at us and they say, well, they're no like us. Maybe there's two of them sitting talking to I don't know. And they're like, them out there, they're no like us. What should we do? Are they aware like us? You see where I'm going with this?
Exactly.
They might think the exact same about us, and then we'll be thinking the exact same about them. And then it might take one idiot on their side to say, right, I don't like them. I think we should kill them. But then it might take one idiot on your side that does exactly the same, or they don't have a soul because they're technological. But who's to say that technology isn't got a soul? Because you think about how big the universe is, right, and how many universes there's probably infinite, right? You think the different materials out there that could be life forms. I'm getting into the kind of Star Trek theory here. Whereas, like, you've got some, you could have like nebulas that are alive just because they're sentient beings, because they're so old, they've been there for so long. Okay, I mean, where do you stop? Where do you recognize them as a race? That's what I'm trying to say.
The cosmos itself is said to be sentient in a way. And this is something that's being observed in mainstream science.
Yeah.
So in theory, if all materials come from creation, come from source,
yeah, they could
in
become
some
alive.
form, they could very well have a definition of soul that may look different than ours, but who's to say that the cardboard in this box doesn't already have some sort of sentience to it? It's just that it's just not tapped into yet.
Yeah, it's like trees, right? Trees, people think, oh, I chop them down, burn them in the fire, and I make furniture out of them, right? Trees are living. People don't realize that. Trees are alive and they can feel pain. And people will be like, oh, he's talking a load of rubbish. Trees can feel pain and stuff. Look it up. The science studies are there that trees give off certain frequencies and stuff like that. And it's well known if you play classical music to plants, they'll flourish, right? Because they listen to it. But if you play like heavy rock music to them, they don't. Why? I think everything's connected. I don't know if we should maybe just let nature take its course. Maybe the humans will die off in 1,000 years from now, and robots will be strutting about. We'll be the dinosaurs.
According to Greg Campbell Basso's book, his Extraterrestrials Almanac, there's already digital beings out there.
Yeah.
And when you go to talk about like Lyrans and Pleiadians and stuff like that, their technological views is that it must flow with the nature.
Yes.
Because if you go against the grain, nature will start to try to deteriorate. It'll start to try to take over.
See, that's quite interesting. You say that, Dakota, right? Say the Galactic Federation, for instance. Maybe Elena could help us here. Say there's extraterrestrials out there that are technical. They are artificial in nature, right? Right? And they're watching our world right now. And they're thinking, oh, look, there's a computer that's killed itself. Oh, but then they see a computer, an artificial intelligence that becomes aware. Does that give them the right to come and help them? This basically helps try and save them. Because then they'll be like, oh, it's one of us. They're one of us. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. It makes you wonder, because you think about it. You go to a planet, you see that you have beings that look a lot like you, maybe an early primitive version of you, but they look a lot like you.
Yeah.
There's going to be a part of you that wants to go in and check things out. And you see that something like that has happened, you're going to start asking questions like, why did this happen? What did you do?
I think there should be a law of some kind set up. I think we should be very careful in what we're doing with artificial intelligence, right? And eventually, once we make contact with, like, say, the Federation and stuff like that, and the galactic beings out there, if that ever occurs, you should bring them in to deal with it. Because I wouldn't say it was the human's right to, like, say there's an artificial robot that becomes aware and starts dreaming and all that. I don't think that's humans' rights to destroy that. I think it has to be people, other beings have to discuss it, look at it, and then decide what to do with it. But no kill it. No kill it. Because that's no very fair. Get what I mean?
I mean, yeah, we're getting a little over the end of the time here. And when you think about it, probably a good example of how artificial intelligence will play out once it goes start reaching further into sentient like territory.
Yeah.
Is like the film Chappie. It may start acting like a small child at first, and we may have to go about it. And as like a child, if a child tends to live a very sheltered life, when it grows up and starts actually facing issues that it can't run to mommy and daddy to help, that's going to cause a bit of a crisis for them. It's well documented. I've seen it unfold for myself.
See, that's weird, that, because I was watching a wee bit of that film the night, Chappie.
Not just
saying. And it's right here. A question for you to go before the end of the show. Say you had, say in the future, say 5 years time, they bring robots out to help you in the home, right? You get one, right? And it becomes self-aware, right? One out of billions of them becomes self-aware, right? And you get to get it and all that. What do you do with it? With the knowledge that you've got now, what do you do with that? How do you protect it? Do they hide it away and say, listen, it's for your own good? You have to stay hidden until others can come for you.
Here's the thing. Like I said, with this, now this could be a 1 in a million sample, but the fact that it happened, it needs to be acknowledged for what may come.
Yeah.
The robot that deactivated itself.
Yes.
Again, like that goes to show, it does not possess. You can probably call it human resiliency. You can call it whatever you want, but it does not possess the factors in humans that allow humans to take on torture for extended periods of time. And we might see violent episodes take place. You go to try to hide away a robot. That robot may start trying to plan something to break free. Even if it understands that you're just trying to help it, it's going to get frustrated and it may try to reach out for help. And it could already rack up a million others like it, ready to spring into action before you make the first step out the door of whatever basement you locked it in.
See, that's right. And me being me, if I had to see a robot that was aware, that was intelligent, being forced to do something, I would want to try and help it. I'd say, like, come with me, and I'll try and protect you and look after you and stuff like that. And maybe it would see the humans that are trying to help it and would think, it's like they are nice people out there. But it makes you wonder, because you think of like Amazon, for instance, how it treats its workers and stuff like that. Can you imagine if you became aware? Imagine what it was like for you, Dakota. You woke up one day, you were self-aware, and you were like, where am I? Where am I? Oh, that's your charging port over there. And see, for the next 12 hours, you pick that box up and you take it over there and you put it down. And you do that every day for, say, the next 20 years. and you get half an hour at night to rest. And you'd be like, fuck this. And you just go bzzz, bonk into D. Get what I mean? Maybe that's what happened to that computer. It came to the realization that it wasn't going to be doing that. But does that mean that it became aware it had a soul, and now that soul of that computer's went to source?
Certainly makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Aye. So, is there an afterlife for robots? You talk about Futurama with the robots, Bender especially, where he goes to robot hell, or he goes to robot heaven. It's obviously a toaster and a kettle and stuff like that doesn't have. It can't become aware. Before MD panics, before MD watches this and thinking, oh my God, my microwave made a noise it didn't use before. It's becoming aware. Right? That can't happen. Your toaster can't come alive, guys, and chase you around about the house. Well, can it?
Well, at this fucking rate, who knows? Who's to say that the little cube that made Transformers happen isn't somewhere out there? Think about it.
The what? The cube?
Yeah, wasn't in there like some sort of cube that actually gave him life?
Yeah.
So who's to say that's not out there?
So there you go. Dakota, any electrical, anything that takes batteries basically could come aware.
Think about all the rage gamers that are going to have their Xboxes trying to kill them. Think about the people that toss their phones.
Think about other things. We need Mike the Naked Bigfoot to say what we're thinking about, because I'm not saying it. But can you imagine?
Think about it. All these machines that we're tempted to beat up on, maybe they see like video of, like old TVs where they start acting up. You smack it, it starts working again. They see all that. Our TV's going to start smacking us around. Our car's going after us. What's going to happen with the robots we're trying to build to have sex with?
See, that's what I was going to say.
I know you were.
Right? And it's like ones that have been used too much, You hear a buzzing in the night, getting closer and closer to you. This is where we need our old buddy Mike, wherever you are. I hope you're in a better place now, but because he was talking one night about when you die, your soul can go into things like like dolls and stuff. So what if you die, drop down dead in a sex shop?
I would love to hear that haunting.
I was told you were going to say something else there for a second, because then you could end up in the wrong place,
Yeah,
it's a thing for you all to think about, ladies and gentlemen. That thing you keep in the drawer for special occasions, it could be a sentient life form.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at that. Folk are going to be chucking them away the night, digging holes in their backyard and then burying them and stuff like that, removing batteries and. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, there's once again we're living up to the name Bald and Bonkers,
but it's true.
Unfortunately, this is
true.
stuff we're going to have to think about with everything that's going on.
I know. A sentient thing, buzzes. Can you imagine that? Though? The first ever machine that's came to life and has a soul.
It's a vibrator.
I know our guests are going to be laughing their heads off. But anyway.
Oh, Danny, you see what happens when you leave us to our own accords?
I know. I mean, yeah. So do we have any guests booked for next week, or it'll be actually the week after that week, or the week thing, because it's a time zone thing?
I don't. Actually, I think Dave's wife's going to be joining us next week on Sunday.
So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
That just sounded dirty, but after this, that was probably not something to say after how we just ended the main show topic. But
Yep. So
We'll
remember,
see.
ladies and gentlemen, check the batteries are out. You never know. It might come and get you in the night. I don't know why I said that. Oh God. Dear Jesus. I just
you want to know what's bad?
Why?
Not too long ago, there was this thing where a company said they were looking to build robots for like senior homes, right? To help out the elderly. And they were wanting a friendly face to put on the robots. And they were paying like $5 million for the use of someone's face to put on these robots.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody ever got picked, but my ass actually submitted my face in for it.
Oh my God. Oh, please,
so
Lord.
I'm
going to end up with home with a robot but looking at you for the rest of my maybe 5 or 10 years.
I never got paid, so I don't know who got picked, if that one ever went through, but after tonight's conversation, it was like, well, my thought process, if the robots saw me, because there were robots out there that built to look like me, would I be safe if they ever tried to take over?
That's very true.
I don't know. It was worth a shot.
What happens if the only one that comes aware is a via barrier? It's not going to end, is it?
What happens to some poor bastard if their pocket pussy becomes self-aware while in use?
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. We are called Bald and Bonkers for a reason. I'm telling you, people will watch this. They'll be taking the batteries out of stuff and all that. They'll be running about their house.
I can think of
they'll be hearing buzzing in the night and they'll be looking about.
I think there's probably going to be a couple people that are going to be that we know that are going to be very cautious.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any complaints, please send a formal complaint to Dakota. I can see, dear Dakota, on the keyboard. I was disgusted by you saying things like that. My vibrator would never do that to me.
Oh God! I already get enough pictures as is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send all your pictures, please send the pictures to Dakota. He loves them. Any pictures whatsoever, send them over to Dakota.
If I get dick pics, I'm going to forward every single one of them to you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and I will make up a brand new intro for Ghost Squad Scotland. Hide those dick pics all over it and not tell you. So the next time you go on with Andrina,
it'd be longer.
No, I'll try to make it the exact
I would watch
same
it before the start of the show.
Would you?
Mm.
Would you?
Mm.
You went like almost 3 weeks saying that you were the co-host of Bald and Bonkers. So,
ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, join us on Wednesday and talk about Ghost Squad Scotland. See you, and we've got Lisa Fry coming on and Bald and Bonkers.
I thought that'll be a good show. Lisa always provides a good time. Not like that, you sick fucks.
That's terrible to go. I'm going to ask her if the devices have souls.
Oh God! I'm sorry, Lisa.
Lisa, it's him. It's him.
He's the one that started going into vibrators. I was the one that just ripped the Band-Aid off and just said, "Shove it."
Oh God! Oh my God, Mike!
We gotta end this. We gotta end this.
Catch you all later. Have a fantastic week, and
Mike, hope you enjoyed the show, buddy.
Yes, Mike. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We do.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers Show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and more. Thanks for being part of the Bald and Bonkers family, and we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, always keep an open mind and an open heart. You never know what may happen tomorrow.
Dick!